hit. These simple steps can help save a life. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings Studios, it's time to get locked in to the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
Well, I've needed a Monday like this for about a month now. We have needed a Monday like this for over a month now. We got a win to talk about. We have positive recruiting news in the 2025 class to talk about. Oh, and Victory Monday is very, very much welcomed here on Locked In, as we got you for the next hour talking about the 59-14 win over Maine and a new offer that is out in the 2025 class with some future cast to go along with it as well. Let's start with the football game, though, because there's a lot of good to discuss from it. And, yeah, I get it. It's Maine, all right? But, Parker, I know I speak for myself on this one, but I'm probably also speak for the majority, if not all, the fan base. Who really cares who it was against on Saturday after 3 consecutive losses by double digits? I think we just all needed to see a win. So Saturday was the first stress-free day in a while outside of that first drive defensively in the first quarter. It just felt nice to see this team hit on some big plays and to, yes, beat someone for the first time in over a month. That felt good regardless of the opponents.
I'll tell you, though, it was a very uncomfortable first, 6-7 minutes of football at Owen Field after Maine scored first. Let me tell you something, Tyler. I have never heard that building quieter than it was for, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes following Maine's opening possession. It wasn't until Oklahoma took the lead at 14-7 that the attitude in the building kind of normalized. It was so quiet that I was standing there on the Maine sideline, Tyler. I could hear Oklahoma coaches across the way shouting instructions to their players on the field. I have never been able to hear that before. Not once have I ever heard anything like that. That's how quiet it was in the building.
Yeah, it was the thought of like, really? Seriously? We're down 7-0. There was a defensive delay of game that was called. It gives them a first down, and they go right down the field and score. It's, oh gosh, we're not really about to lose this game, or is it to be close, is it? And look, I know that this has already been done. Like, I did it on my Twitter page. I did it in the post-game show. But let's all remember the play that happened on the first play that happened on the very next drive. Javonte Barnes, man, I've said it, I feel like 100 times since Saturday, but I think he deserves for me to say it again. Javonte Barnes was playing his ass off. I got all the respect in the world for what he's given you this year, especially the past couple of weeks. And as worried/panicked as you were after Maine took that 7-0 lead, I think a lot of that kind of disappeared immediately the first play following when you thought he took it 75 yards for a touchdown. Like, that was, I don't know if you want to say that was the biggest play of the game in a 59-14 win, but that eased a lot of concerns, I think, the longest run of the season. And really from there on out, it felt like OU dominated the game. So I guess if you want to say what was the biggest play of the game, you can look at that 90-yard touchdown from Jackson Arnold to J.J. Hester. But it was really that long run by Javonte Barnes where OU never looked back after that.
No, never. And just a really cool opportunity to watch Javonte Barnes ball out and watch it all come together. And, okay, yes, it was Maine. I get it, but 18 carries, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns, first 200-plus yard performance for any Oklahoma running back since Eric Gray back in November of 2022. And more than anything else, Tyler, it's not necessarily something where you feel like, okay, obviously he's going to replicate that against Missouri this week, and I'm not going to throw out any takes like that. But what I will say is that it's always refreshing to see good things happen to good people and good leaders. And that's what Javonte Barnes has been all season. It's been kind of a tumultuous year for Oklahoma football. And amidst it all, not only has Barnes' effort never diminished, but he has continually been one of the vocal leaders on this football team, not just on the offensive side of the ball, but the team as a whole. And he has given his all every single Saturday for the University of Oklahoma. And it's guys like that you enjoy seeing success from. And so for him, of all people, to go for 200-plus and find pay dirt 3 times on Saturday, it was well-deserved on Javonte Barnes' part.
Look, I get it. I'm going to have to say this about 50 times throughout the next 4 hours. I get it. It was Maine. But if you're going to evaluate the offense in that game on Saturday and even evaluate the game against Ole Miss, like, man, I don't think it's a hot take to say that this offense has looked a lot better. And not even in terms of the results. I mean, they're in a lot more of a rhythm. They're confident, it looks like, compared to what they were, before Joe John started calling plays. It just kind of looked different offensively up to this point. The run game's there. I don't know if you want to credit to just simplifying it and not trying to throw in 50 new plays like they did going into the Texas game, but I realize the opponent Saturday, Parker, but I'm even looking back to Saturday. This offense has looked much more efficient, much more confident, much more in rhythm. It's looked a lot better, I feel like, in these past couple of weeks with Joe John calling plays. And then Kevin John's probably how he's helped out with Jackson Arnold, because and I think more than anything else, he just kind of confidence-wise looks like a different version than he did in that Tennessee game earlier in the year.
He does. And again, this is not exclusive to Maine. You saw it against Ole Miss. And my only concern, and this goes back to the Ole Miss game as well, my only concern going forward is the offensive line. I think if the offensive line can hold it together, Joe John Finley is going to call the requisite plays, and Jackson Arnold is going to give you the requisite caliber of play at quarterback to at least get you bowl eligible, to at least beat Missouri this weekend. And I think also not to get blown out and embarrassed by Alabama and LSU. Yeah. Even if they don't win that game, I think OU can put up respectable showings against Alabama and LSU. But so much of it is contingent upon the play of this offensive line, Tyler, because that was the one thing that I was kind of underwhelmed by, especially in the early stage of this game before OU really just succeeded in breaking Maine's will. They did not look great in pass protection. Spencer Brown at right tackle was getting beat on a consistent basis again. And it does worry me that if you have to go into this weekend in Columbia, Missouri, down Jacob Sexton, down Michael Tarquin, and down Jake Taylor, well, what does that leave you with at tackle? Your starters are probably Spencer Brown and Logan Howland. And I do not feel good about that, Tyler.
No, nor should you. It does feel like they're starting to run the ball better. I know the bar from that was pretty low, but here's kind of here's really the main takeaway, no pun intended there, is you were a big favorite over Maine. Like, come out of this game just getting some confidence and feeling good about yourself offensively for the first time in a while. And I think they did that. I think that they hit on some big plays, which feels good, both in the run game, in the pass game, which they haven't been able to do. You mentioned Javonte Barnes running for 200 yards. Like, it was just an easy day at the office for that offense, and they really haven't had that all year long. So if nothing else, they at least feel good about themselves, or at least have some sort of confidence here moving forward for the final 3 games of the regular season. That in itself doesn't fix all of the issues that this team has, but at least maybe they have some more offense or some confidence today than they did last week. So with the situation that was presented to you and the opponent on the schedule, Parker, not all of it was perfect, but you did what you needed to do against a team like that. And let's hope that the confidence that they maybe have built off of that Maine game, you can apply that a little bit to the Missouri game. You're right. Like, it's going to be really tough to protect Jackson Arnold consistently if those are their 2 starting tackles. But I do think that you have to like the way that the run game is starting to develop here. And I don't expect Barnes to rush for over 200 yards, but I don't expect this running game to rush for, 25 carries for 27 yards or anything like that. Like, I think they could have some success on Saturday.
The realist on the text line says, why Spencer Brown and not Isaiah Autry-Dent? Did Isaiah Autry-Dent not grade well during the game? Look, if it's me, realist, I'm going with Isaiah Autry-Dent.
Sure.
But I mean, it's a true freshman. You're asking him now to start on the road in the SEC in his second week of actual collegiate action. That's a bold leap of faith for somebody like Bill Bedenbaugh to take. Is it a leap of faith I would take? Yes, but can I count on Bill Bedenbaugh being in the same frame of mind? Not necessarily. I will say this, and this ties back to the point you just made, Tyler. I saw this most notably with Eddie Pierre-Louis on Saturday. Some of those reserve linemen, when they got their chance, man, they were driving dudes backwards.
Oh, EPL, man. How can you not be excited about him? We were joking about it on the postgame show is, for a team that's been very undisciplined this year, especially in offense, that was a penalty where it's like, yeah, EPL, yeah. That was the most celebrated penalty around here in a long time, I feel like.
I know. I tweeted, Eddie Pierre-Louis is in the game. Very first play, he gets flagged for unnecessary roughness. Red flag or green flag? There were like 150 people that responded to that tweet, and I don't think any one of them said red flag.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't just the only play for him that you're excited about. He was pushing guys back. Like, the excitement that we had from EPL, he probably needs to show it against a better opponent, but really for the first time that we're seeing him, thought he looked pretty good out here. Slim Brady says, did y'all see the captains for the Mizzou game? Burden, Weiss, Green, and Winery. Is that legit, Slim Brady?
Yeah, is that legit? Because I have seen nothing to that effect.
That would be so Eli Dorkwitz if those are the four captains for Mizzou on Saturday. Interesting. Fascinating. 405 says the 59-14 score looked good, even if OU was undefeated. Mississippi Pot Roast says it also needs to be pointed out that Barnes made most of his hay behind two freshmen on the left side of the offensive line. Yeah, he really hit on some big plays. I know he had, the 73-yarder on his first carry, but he had some other big plays throughout the day too, man. He looked good, and there's no question who your best running back is. I don't think that there's been much of a question like that for a while, but that dude he's starting to round into the running back that you hope that you were going to get, his freshman season.
And long-term, I still think Taylor Tatum has the highest ceiling. But if we're talking now,
yeah.
Today, Javonte Barnes is the guy, and that has become very, very clear in the last couple of weeks, the way that he has played and the way that he has competed.
The Ogre says, does EPL have Trent Williams talent? I can't go that high, Ogre.
Well, he's not.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even it's really all of that is different, and Trent Williams is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So even if it was a tackle or anyone, I can't go there. Trent's like one of the best offensive linemen to ever play this sport.
Well, and he's a tackle too.
Yeah,
EPL's
right.
never going to be a tackle. He's 6'3". He'll play guard. That's his spot, and he might end up being a really, really good guard. Currently, it appears that he's on track to wind up being a really, really good guard. But the Trent Williams comparison, I don't think that will ever be justified necessarily. Even if he doesn't end up being really, really good, he's not going to be the same type of player that Trent Williams was. John from Tulsa said, that EPL play immediately made me think of Cody Ford. Kid has an attitude we haven't seen since 2017 or 18.
Yeah, like if you want to compare it to Cody Ford, which, that era, what I thought I knew about offense really spoiled me on it. I'm like, why do people always talk about 3rd and 10 being a big deal? 3rd and 10's not a big deal. Because remember, Cody Ford would always get one unsportsmanlike penalty a game, it felt like.
Yeah.
But the offense was so good that you never really felt it.
I'll tell you.
Think of a first down after.
So
it's like, okay, EPL, just maybe not make that consistent, please.
Oh, yeah. You know who had attitude, and this is pretty recent. McCade Matire was a guy that had attitude. That was a guy kind of cut from the same cloth as EPL as far as mentality. Now, obviously, McCade Matire was a good player. He wasn't a great player. I don't know that he had the brute strength or the athleticism that EPL has. But that, to me, like if you combine that tenacity with some of the natural athletic tools that EPL has, yes, you're obviously looking at a guy, Tyler, that has the potential to be all-conference caliber within a couple years.
Sure. All right, 405-651-3439. Keep the text coming on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Let me read a couple of more here. This text says, Horns Down is loving Locked In, making sales calls, listening to you guys. Thanks for everything you're doing. This says Horns Down is loving Locked In.
That's his name, Horns Down?
No, it is the official spirit of Locked In, Horns Down Apple Pie.
Oh.
They have joined the show. Yeah. Official spirit of Locked In, Horns Down Apple Pie. Can I convince you to try it on air sometime or no? I mean, I'll try it. I might start doing a shot every time OU gets a commits. We'll see. It's pretty good. Tastes like apple pie. It is fantastic. Official spirit of Locked In. For you Tulsa folks, you can go pick up some Horns Down apple pie at Park Hills Warehouse right there in Tulsa. Lloyd says EPL plays like Drew Samia. So I think that this is going to be EPL comp day is what it sounds like to me, Parker.
Keep them rolling. Give us more EPL comps.
I don't hate
Give us
it.
all of the EPL comps. Never mind. I can't make this transition yet. When we turn the page to talking recruiting, there's another interesting comp that I want to bring to your attention.
Okay, well, let's do that coming up next because OU put out an offer over the weekend. You might know who it is. There's already some future cast in for OU to land this in-state prospect in 2025. I do want to tell you first that I'm at Caven's Group today right here in Norman. Now, unfortunately, some of you experienced some storm damage this weekend, whether it was from tornado or flooding, whatever it is. Caven's Group is on the call 24/7, 365, 405-573-3048. So if you were affected by the storms this weekend or even today, give Gary and the team a call. They will be right out. 405-573-3048. We'll talk some OU Crootin coming up next right here on The Ref.
The Ref is SEC ready. Are you? Download the KRF app today to get ready for it to just mean more in 2024.
Hi, I'm Alex Torvey, candidate for House District 46. I've been a small business owner in District 46 for years. I know firsthand the challenges we face: rising prices, high taxes, and uncertainty. I will fight for policies that keep taxes low, supporting small businesses, and cut wasteful spending, ensuring that every dollar goes to making Oklahoma stronger. On November 5th, vote for Alex Torvey for House District 46.
Paid for by Alex Torvey for House District 46.
Hey, Sooner fans, we've got you covered. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
No, we don't get a break.
This is the home of Sooner fans.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
When the game is on the line, you need a team that you can count on. When injuries occur, you can count on the one team that knows sports medicine. Norman Regional's Ortho Central is your premier team of orthopedic specialists. With 5 highly trained orthopedic surgeons, 3 fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians, and locations in Norman, Newcastle, and Midwest City, we'll work hard to get you back in the game. Ortho Central, #1 in sports medicine and orthopedic care. Call 405-360-6764 and schedule an appointment today.
Ever wonder why someone would wake up at the crack of dawn just for a chance at the unknown? Maybe a better question is, what are you waiting for? Pacifico is brewed for those who follow their own path. That's living life anchors up.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Brian McPherson.
Hi, this is Monty Markham. Today I want to talk to you about Jonathan Wilk, who's a Republican running for House District 20. I've known Jonathan and his family all my life and have watched him become a true leader in our community. He's been a firefighter, small business owner, and cattle rancher. He's one of us. He's been born and raised in Oklahoma with deep roots in District 20. Jonathan knows what it will take to keep our conservative values in the Sooner State. Vote for Jonathan Wilk on November the 5th, paid for by Wilk House District 2020-2024.
Hey, I'm Reba McEntire. Growing up in Oklahoma, I had big dreams of becoming a successful country music singer. But I also knew the odds were against me and that I needed an education to fall back on. Studying never got in the way of my dreams. In fact, school gave me lots of opportunities I wouldn't have had otherwise with my career. Please stay in school and try your best. You never know where a good education might take you. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Entrepreneurs in Moore, Norman, and South Oklahoma City have an experienced business partner in their neighborhood. Moore Norman Technology Center's workforce and economic development team understands the challenges entrepreneurs and small businesses face every day. From building an effective business model to hiring the right employees and managing cash flow, Moore Norman's business development experts can help you move forward confidently and thrive, knowing that you have a skilled partner at your side. Learn more about Moore Norman's Technology Center by calling 405-801-5000 or visit us online at mntc.edu.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm Latoya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like Latoya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Locked in with McComas and Thune, live on the ref for the Houma Sooner fans. Tyler McComas, Parker Thune. I am at Cavins Group today. Go follow them on Facebook, Cavins Group, Cavins Group. I mean, go follow them, and you got a chance to win some really cool prizes from time to time. They like to give away prizes to their Facebook followers, so go follow them on Facebook, Cavins Group. Do we have John Whitson on hold yet, Parker?
We don't even have him on the phone line, Tyler. We have him here in person, as a matter of fact. He has made his way to the studios.
My pal, my buddy, John Witson of Brown O'Haver is in studio with us for a few minutes. Okay, John, so we kind of know the storyline here. All of us were woken up in the middle of the night by alerts on our phone. Tornado damage in the area, wind damage, water damage, all of that. If anyone out there has unfortunately experienced any of this, what do they need to do to contact Brown O'Haver to help?
Absolutely. And here's the deal. Tornadoes suck. We all know they suck. And that's Brown O'Haver's job, is to help the insurance claim process and everything that people are going through just suck a little less. So if you've got questions, give us a call, 405-735-5510. However, if you suffer damage, I say this all the time, and I want to stress it again. Don't make any long-term decisions in the first 48 to 72 hours. Nothing you do is going to, if you wait, it will be better in the long term for the entirety of your claim. Okay? For most people, they suffer one large loss in your life. If you were hit by a tornado, this is that one large loss. And you have the potential to set it up in the right way. And so that's not to sign up with any restoration company. That's not to sign up with anybody knocking on your door. I'm even including Brown O'Haver. Don't sign up with anybody. Take your time. Don't throw anything away. Take a lot of pictures and just get quotes and estimates from anybody you talk to. The number one mistake that can be made is that restoration companies will come out and they will want to remove items from your home, clean them, and store them. And that costs a lot of your money. They will say insurance pays for it. What they mean is your insurance policy pays for it, and it's a lot of money. Inevitably, there is things in your house that you want clean and you want stored, but I'm telling you, you don't want everything cleaned and stored. There's some stuff that you haven't worn in 10 years. There's a Big 12 championship, runner-up shirt that you have from 15 years ago. You don't want that cleaned and stored. Get a quote and decide what you want to do with it, but take your time so that your claim will go better in the long run.
That's a Mizzou shirt, isn't it?
Yeah,
Big 12 championship runner-up from 15 years ago. That's Missouri.
The 07. They got the 07 one with the San Antonio skyline that says we almost won. Yep.
Yeah.
I think they got beat 38-17. It was awesome.
I'll be there on Saturday. I'm sure I'll see Big 12 North champions 2007 up on that dorky press box that they have over there. I'm sure that's going to happen. Hey, any other advice you have out there for people, John, in the area? Best way to get a hold of you and follow you on socials and everything else?
So after you've waited and you've taken your time, if you're saying, hey, I need some direction with my insurance claim, I need an advocate, I need somebody to look over the situation and tell me, are we going the right direction or not? That's what Brown O'Haver is here for. We are public insurance adjusters. We work for the insured, not the insurance company, licensed by the state of Oklahoma to help you with your insurance claim. Call us, 405-735-5510. Check us out on Facebook. check us out at www.brown-ohaver.com. We have tons of success stories online. We can share all that with you. We can put you in touch with somebody that's gone through some of the same situations you might be going through right now. But the biggest thing out there is just be patient, take your time, and don't make any rash decisions that are going to impact you long-term for your claim.
And go download the Boomer Bevo podcast if you haven't already. Last thing before we get you out of here, give me a letter grade, what you thought of OU on Saturday.
That's a great question. I didn't think of it in terms of letter grade. Speaking of the podcast, when Kevin and I broke it down yesterday, the only thing I can compare it to is the Temple game. Okay? And so the Temple game, Temple's not any good. Maine's not any good. Temple's not any good. Whatever. But when we all watched the Temple game, despite the 51-3 score, we all looked at each other like, ugh, that didn't look good. That didn't feel good. There was nothing right about what we saw, right? You watch this game and you're like, well, I know it's Maine, but at least it looked good, right? At least Javonte went for 11.1. I would have liked to see more passing yards out of Jackson Arnold. The one pass play he made, man, the arm talent on that throw was fantastic. But I wish he could have maybe piled up a little more stats, gotten a little bit better rhythm. I think we're still seeing the effects of not having receivers because they can't create that separation that you want to see even against Maine. But offensive line, you got to be happy about how that looked. The defense, we know what they're at, and especially after looking at the Ole Miss score against Arkansas, it makes you feel even better about where we are defensively. So as far as a letter grade, it's Maine, right? I mean, that's just a pass or fail, I think, and I guess they passed. So I don't know. What did y'all already grade them?
No, I just like the pass. I don't know if they've passed in over a month now, so I like that. So I'll take the passing grade. Satisfactory for sure. Hey, John, appreciate you joining us in studio, man. Good stuff as always.
Hey, guys, y'all are the best. Thanks for getting me on. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And, again, call us at Brown O'Haver, 405-735-5510. And appreciate it, guys. Boomer Sooner.
John Witson of Brown O'Haver and the Boomer Bevo podcast. Okay, so Cash Jacobson got the offer on Saturday. You have a future cast in. Brandon has a future cast in. I think a guy that covers Texas Tech has a future cast in for Oklahoma. One, was it at all surprising that the 3-star defensive lineman out of Jinx got the offer on Saturday, and clearly you think that that's trending in OU's direction pretty well if you're willing to put in a future cast.
Yes, I do. I think the odds are good that Oklahoma can wrap that one up pretty quickly with Cash Jacobson. And, look, it's not all that surprising that this was a guy that they decided to extend an offer to. He's had a very impressive start to his senior year, picked up a lot of Power 5 interest. We talked about it last week, or Power 4, excuse me. USC, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech have all thrown a hat in the ring. There have been some other big-time schools starting to kick the tires. I would be surprised if he picks up any more offers from here on out, though, because the Oklahoma offer is going to be a major deterrent to anybody else that wants to get involved in the race. They're going to see OU, and they're going to figure, okay, we don't have much of a chance with this kid. And I don't think anybody else has much of a chance at this kid as of right now. I like the Sooners to wrap things up rather expeditiously here with Cash Jacobson, the 3-star out of Jenks, Oklahoma. 6'5", 285 pounds. He's going to carry well north of 300 at the collegiate level. And definitely the type of guy that when you turn on the film has the potential to be a menace after a year or two of development.
Well, what did OU like here? Because clearly this is a late offer in the 25 class. We talked about, his 25 season or his senior season and how good he's looked. And OU didn't just have that thought. USC had that thought. Boise had that thought. Several others did as well. I mean, it hasn't been that long since he's decommitted from South Dakota State. What did OU see here to where they said, we could use another defensive lineman, let's keep in-state and add this kid, Cash Jacobson?
Yeah, well, obviously, the tape speaks for itself. He's long. He's got good strength. He's got good speed. He's somebody that realistically could play either 3-tech or just be a big old nasty nose at the next level. And moreover, with no more Kamari Moore in this class for Oklahoma, no more Floyd Boucard in this class for Oklahoma, the only defensive tackle commit for the Sooners right now is Trent Wilson. And so they needed to go pick up somebody else. You got to have more than one. If you want to cap it at 2, if Cash Jacobson, if he's going to be your only remaining take at defensive tackle, I think that's fine because you can go shore things up in the portal. You don't have to have more than 2, but you do got to have 2. And as I see it, Tyler, amongst the guys that Oklahoma could realistically go and land at this point in time, Cash Jacobson makes a lot of sense.
Has OU gotten another, not maybe the Saturday or the Sunday, but maybe, a week or two after? Can you think of another 25 commit that OU's gotten that they committed to OU very soon after their visit to Norman? Really, the way I want to paint this is, we laughed at the Maine game, and that could be maybe the only weekend where they get a 25 commit immediately after is after that game from Cash Jacobson.
I mean, I remember Heath Ozida committed pretty quickly after he got the offer in 22. Champ Sanders did the same thing. It's happened. Like, there are instances. Kendall Dolby was another one that got the offer, showed up to campus, and boom, it was over. But, this is one where you feel like you – and, it's a 3-star guy, so it doesn't feel like you need him specifically necessarily, right? You're not talking about the type of dude where there's no viable replacement if, for whatever reason, things fall through the cracks. But you feel like you got to have another defensive tackle before the end of the cycle. Cash Jacobson can and will get to campus in January wherever he goes. He's right down the road. Senior film's really, really impressive. And he's the type of guy that because of where he comes from, right? Family's from Oklahoma. He's spent his whole life in Oklahoma. He's going to work every day to make sure that he is playing the best football possible for the Crimson and Cream. And here's an interesting question, Tyler. I was thinking about this earlier. When was the last time Oklahoma rostered a Jenks Trojan? It's been a few years.
Well, Stephen Parker immediately comes to mind. I'm really trying to think if there's –
I think he might be the last one.
Was Marquise Overton, was he before or after him? Were they right around the same time?
They were concurrent with one another, I believe.
Uh-huh. Boy, if Stephen Parker is the last Jenks Trojan that you've had, that's kind of crazy. Man, fascinating. And that's continued to be a really good program for a long time now, but – come on down, Cash Jacobson, if that's what the decision is. 6'5", 285 pounds. Some good news for OU Crootin over the weekend. Chris Tate says, thoughts on Sark paying a visit to Michael Fasusi this past weekend. Should OU fans be worried? Did Sark take the chopper to go see Fasusi this weekend?
He did take the chopper, yes. Michael Fasusi told my colleague Brandon Drum following the game that he is a Sooner for life. So I know everybody's trying to drum up the controversy about the potential of a flip from OU to Texas or Texas A&M for Fasusi. I just don't think it's all that likely at this point. Fasusi mentioned that all the reasons he committed to Oklahoma in the first place are all the reasons why he's still committed to Oklahoma, and all of the relevant factors are still at play as he looks forward to a future at OU. So I'm not too terribly worried about Michael Fasusi. Reformed Sooner says, will Jacobson wrap it up quicker than the Baylor commit that was supposed to be committing soon? Caleb Burns wasn't supposed to be committing anytime soon. I never told you that, at least. Caleb Burns was always going to take his time. He's due for an official visit to Oklahoma on November 23rd for the Alabama game. And if you have a decision immediately following that game, great. I'm not necessarily counting on it. I think this thing could go all the way down to early signing day for Caleb Burns. So that was always going to be a slow burn process. I don't think it'll be all too long before Cash Jacobson makes a final decision. And obviously, I like Oklahoma to be the destination with Jacobson.
Bill Brasky says, any updates on Foje and Fasusi? Been in a meeting and may have missed it. If you've already talked about it, thanks. I think you texted that in right as soon as we talked about it, Bill. Sounds like Fasusi still very much locked into this class. And I don't look, if Bill Bedenbaugh's coming back, and I would definitely take Michael Fasusi at his word that he said, quote, I'm a Sooner for life. If Fasusi's coming here, Bill Bedenbaugh's back, I would not tend to worry too much about Ryan Foje, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Foje was the one that tweeted out a couple weeks ago, Boomer for life or whatever it was. So now, as long as Bill Bedenbaugh is employed at the University of Oklahoma, folks, you do not have to worry about Fasusi. You do not have to worry about Foje. You do not have to worry about Owen Hollenbeck or Darius Afalava. The only thing that would give any of them any reason to waver on their commitments to Oklahoma is if Bedenbaugh was relieved of duty, and I do not foresee that happening.
So we have an opportunity to make a really cool moment happen here.
Okay.
Via the text line. And honestly, this is my single favorite thing of the entire job. Now, Mike Howard just texted us, and he says, headed to the Bucks and Chiefs tonight. And he sends a photo of his son, Cole. Cole's got a brand new Baker Mayfield OU jersey on. He's got an OU hat on, and I can just tell by Cole's face, he is pumped to go see Baker Mayfield and the Bucks take on the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. But there's better news coming for Cole. We're about to tell him something that he does not know. Cole does not know. We are breaking the news to him now that his dad got him field passes for before the football game tonight. Are you kidding me? Cole gets to go see the Bucks and the Chiefs tonight in his Baker jersey and his hat, and Mike Howard is saying, hey, tell him about the sideline passes we have before the game. Man, that's the good stuff right there. Congratulations, Cole. It's going to be a night you will never forget. I love that stuff. Thank you, Mike, for passing that along. That's really, really cool. 1-star K-Dub and the 918. You guys have a great time, by the way. Father-son moment. That's really neat. K-Dub says Jordan Smallwood was a Jinx product. Was he not? You know, the kid that ran a jet sweep in the Rose Bowl on 3rd and 1.
Man, you just we talked about some good times. Those are the not so good times. Jordan Smallwood running a jet sweep on 3rd and 1. After which Muleshoe decided not to try and go for it when he only needed 6 inches from the best offense in the country.
Well, I mean, we're just, a handful of plays away, and, everyone's saying, how awesome they are. And, I get it. You're defined by wins and losses, but I got to pay attention to the other 99% of the plays, too. I can't ignore those. So I see some good things out there. We're running the ball well, and defensively, heck, it ain't even close. Special teams has been good. That guy. I mean, jeez.
Hey,
you expect anything less at this point?
Yeah. Hey, Tyler, by the way, I saw Sooner Bump's name come up on the text line. When are we cashing in on the bad daddies that he owes us?
I'm free this week.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm free this week for sure.
What night you want to plan for? I'll let him know.
I mean, night, lunch, whatever you guys got.
Well, I can't do lunch, but.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll figure something out. You let me know, and I'll show up there. How about that? Blue Sooner says, I'm not crying, you are. Sooner Lisa from BA says, that's cool. Hope Cole has a great time. Yeah, that was really neat. Thank you, Mike, for allowing us to do that today. Cavens Group, cavensgroup.com. Go check them out. Again, if you have any emergency repairs from the storm that needs to be attended to, 24/7, 365. Gary and the team is on the call. 405-573 405-573-3048. Final segment of Locked In is coming up next.
The word is spreading, and the Ref Army is growing. Keep telling your friends and family that there's only one station for true Sooner fans, and that's the Ref Radio Sports Network, and worldwide on the KREF app.
Skip the leftovers and get your game face on at Riverwind.
We're serving big wins and good times all season long.
Play thousands of your favorite games.
And enjoy the best rewards program in the Metro.
The Showplace Theater at Riverwind is the hottest spot for live music.
Don't miss our Digital Dash giveaway every Friday in November.
Play with your wild card to win your share of over $120,000.
The best food, drinks, and service only at Riverwind.
From the gridiron to the hardwood to the diamond, no one covers the Sooners like we do. If it's Sooner Sports, we have you covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This is the home of Sooner fans.
Ever wonder why someone would go to the ends of the earth and leap into the unknown? Maybe a better question is, what are you waiting for? Pacifico is brewed for those who follow their own path. That's living life anchors up.
Hi, this is
Emily Geis, candidate for Oklahoma House District 90. Growing up in Oklahoma, there are a few things we all learned, like how family always comes first, that the rewards of hard work make it worth doing, and that helping our neighbors wasn't just friendly, it's our duty. I live by that philosophy, and it's the attitude I think we need more of in government. I'm Emily Geis, and I guarantee you no one will work harder for our community and for you. Be wise and vote Geis on November 5th. This ad has been paid for by Emily Geis for State House 2024.
Are you looking for weekend plans? Sooner Bowling Center has something for you and the entire family. Each Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., you can join them for the Pizza, Pins, and Pop Special. You get 60 minutes of one lane of bowling for 6 people, shoe rentals, a pitcher of soda, and a one-topping pizza. You can reserve online at SoonerBowl.com. Don't forget about their spare time grill and social butterfly catering for all of your catering needs. Visit them today, SoonerBowl.com.
Want the best tailgate in town? Cater for a large group or feed your team? The 12th Avenue Chick-fil-A in Norman can meet all of your needs. Sandwich trays, nugget trays, and drinks by the gallon, we do it all. Our catering orders include all your essentials to serve your winning team, and it's backed by popular demand, the Honey Pepper Pimento Sandwich, and be sure to try the new Banana Pudding Milkshake. Call the 12th Avenue Chick-fil-A in Norman at 405-310-3189 or visit us on the app.
How about this? We're hanging out with the winningest coach in OU football history, Bob Stoops, Mondays on the T-Row in the Morning Show. It's the Stoops Review with the HBC on the T-Row Show, Mondays from 7:45 to 8:30 with limited commercial interruption. Every Monday, we'll be looking back at Saturday's OU game with a guy who knows what he's looking at. Bob Stoops, the Visor, the HBC on our show every Monday. Check it out.
There's strength in family, and there's strength in partnership. Hi, I'm Lainey Phillips with Armstrong Bank, where we believe in building financial stability and enduring relationships. As a family-owned community bank since 1909, we'll always be here to support you, because we know that true strength is in our communities. Armstrong Bank. Strength runs in our family. Visit armstrong.bank. Member FDIC.
Okay, antibodies, huddle up. We're a great team, but the flu is dominating. The good news is the human we're protecting just got his flu shots. That means all of us antibodies have strong new gear that will help us fight and defend against the flu. We must win so that our human can stay healthy and help protect the people he cares about most.
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect yourself and others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Final segment, locked in with McComas and Thune. Tyler McComas, Parker Thune, and the Ref Army. Listening worldwide via the free KREF app. They're listening in Sydney, Australia today. Spanish Fork, Utah. Emporia, Kansas. Cody, Wyoming. Georgetown, Texas. Newington, Connecticut. Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Mill Creek, Oklahoma. Ref Army Locator is brought to you by Horns Down Spirits. Go check out Horns Down Apple Pie. It's the perfect drink for all game days and celebrations. Currently available in 80 locations throughout the state, including the Park Hills Warehouse in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Good stuff. Horns Down Apple Pie. Had it this weekend. It is fantastic. Okay, so overall 59-14. OU definitely passed the test over Maine. But how about some youngsters who we thought really impressed? And by youngsters, I mean true freshmen, redshirt freshmen who we haven't seen a lot of. EPL, I think, belongs on that list, and we've already talked about him up to this point. I think you got to put Xavier Robinson on that list too, don't you?
Xavier Robinson had a couple real nice moments in very, very limited action on Saturday. What was it, 48 yards? Did he go 48 yards down the left sideline on that little swing pass from Michael Hawkins that he did the rest on? And then, of course, he finds the end zone for his first career touchdown. Yep. Special moment for that kid. Native of Mustang, product of Carl Albert High School in Midwest City. Yeah, that boy looks like an SEC running back right there, Tyler. Also, we did not see Caleb Hicks on Saturday.
Crazy, man. How many games have we seen him this year? Was it the one against South Carolina? Is that it?
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Man.
Pretty sure that's the only Caleb Hicks that we have seen in 2024. Hard to imagine at this point that he is back in an Oklahoma uniform in 2025.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty big upset if he's back next year, especially when Xavier Robinson is getting 6 carries, Sam Franklin is getting 6 carries, and you're not even seeing the field at this point. I was bummed for Casey Thompson. They really tried to get him in the game, but I wanted to see him in the game. If nothing else, just to kneel the ball out, whatever, but just to see him get in the game would have been fun, and unfortunately it didn't happen.
I know. Danny Okoye commits roughing the passer. Not only does that cost Reggie Powers his first career pick, that's cost Casey Thompson his chance. And then the crazy thing is, they have that 4th and 7, I guess, 19 seconds left in the game or something like that. And Maine has 4th and 7 from, the 12. And if they turn it over on downs, Casey Thompson gets to kneel it out. If they score a touchdown, Casey Thompson gets to kneel it out. Unfortunately, neither happened because they completed a pass for 8 yards right to the marker, and then there was no time left by the time Oklahoma, or by the time that drive wrapped up. Oklahoma clamped down, held Maine without a score there, but time expired with Maine still on offense.
Something is already happening this week that hasn't really happened, I don't think, at all in SEC play. We're used to a betting line opening up for OU and SEC play, and that line throughout the week continues to be bet to the opponent's side. Well, so far, the line is moving in favor of Oklahoma. The line opened at Missouri -2.5 yesterday. The line is down to Mizzou -2 today. So I don't think that this necessarily gets down to a pick'em or anything by the end of the week, but I'm not using the betting line as my reason for saying this. I'm using that I've seen Mizzou play football this year, and knowing that Oklahoma's not perfect, it kind of feels like the season here on Saturday to get to a bowl game. I do think OU can go up there Saturday and win this football game. I really do believe that. I think it's going to be tough for both offenses, and this could be a very low-scoring game, 21-17 type of game. But OU can go up there, and Parker, they need to go up there and win this game.
If it's Drew Pine playing quarterback,
they should
I
win.
like Oklahoma's chances to win the football game because I don't know if Missouri scores at that point. That offense is putrid without Brady Cook under center. And even if Brady Cook is under center, is that 100% of Brady Cook? I would tend to say no. By the way, Yoda checked in on the text line and informed us that it is safe to say Jacquez Petaway is portal bound as well. So Yoda, by virtue of his Jedi foresight, has officially broken the news that Jacquez Petaway is headed to the transfer portal at season's end.
I got to meet Yoda Saturday after the game. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. Enjoyed meeting Yoda for the first time. Pretty cool. Chris Tate said South Carolina would beat Mizzou by 14-17 if they played today. I think I'd agree with that. South Carolina's on a roll.
I think South Carolina beat Missouri by 20+ if they played today. South Carolina looks good.
Yeah. They do look real good. Josh in Tulsa says Hicks shut it down after he was 4th on the depth chart at the beginning of the year. His mom retweeted and was mad, so take that for what you will. One-star Big Rick in Owasso says, why can't we keep both quarterbacks after this year? Hawk was always going to sit for 2 years behind JFA anyway, and despite him losing the starting gig this year, nothing has changed from the beginning of the season. Besides, Hawk can use another season of improvement.
Yeah, look, I've never said, you can't keep both quarterbacks. What I've said is I don't think they will keep both quarterbacks. I could be wrong. There's a world where both of them come back next year. I will acknowledge that. But I don't feel like I need to spend a whole lot of time explaining how the circumstances right now are different than the circumstances going into the season. Because Michael Hawkins hasn't been second string all season. Michael Hawkins got a taste of the starting job. Jackson Arnold got a taste of the starting job. And again, there are 3 ways you can play this. You can say Arnold's the guy. You can say Hawkins is the guy. Or you can tell both guys that there's going to be an open competition going into next year. Any way you slice it, Tyler, I think one of the guys is going to have more than adequate reason to take a look at options elsewhere. Because if you say Arnold's the guy, then Hawkins for the second straight year is going to end up feeling like, well, you're not giving me a fair shot to go and earn the job. and you're not making it an open competition, and that'll probably rub him the wrong way. If you say Hawkins is the guy, well, obviously Arnold, it's not worth it. It's a bad business decision for him to stick around and be a backup, so he's out the door at that point. If you tell him it's an open competition, that's the one scenario where you could maybe hope to keep them both, but is that something that makes sense for Arnold with where he's at? Because he already burned a year of eligibility for minimal action in 2023. He's used a year of eligibility for a partial season as a starter here in 2024. If he's got 2 years of eligibility left and he's being promised nothing short of an opportunity to compete for the job in 2025, would it not be a significant consideration for a guy like that to go somewhere where he is the unquestioned starting quarterback? The answer to me is yes. Does that mean it happens? Not necessarily, but any way you play it, there is a significant risk at this point of losing one of those quarterbacks to the transfer portal this offseason.
You know, and I was going to say, well, maybe it depends on the coordinator hire and the system that they run and their preferences on quarterbacks, kind of whatever, if both guys stay. But I think if you're an offensive coordinator, and I'm going to guess that Jackson Arnold is – we got 3 games left. A lot can happen in 3 games. I mean, we know that. We've seen what's happened this year, and especially if the – tackle situation continues to be a little shaky. But Jackson Arnold is playing pretty well right now, it feels like, and I definitely think that there's a world where he's your starting quarterback for the final 3 games of the season and maybe feel like he's got the edge to be your starting quarterback or the favorite to be that entering the offseason. But I would guess, whoever they hire at offensive coordinator would want to try and keep Michael Hawkins on the roster because, he struggled with some decision-making. There's also a true freshman out there playing with, not his top 5 wide receivers and a shaky offensive line. And probably an offensive coordinator that didn't put him in the best spots. But what we saw from Michael Hawkins this year is elite speed at quarterback and some really nice arm strength when he had time. So I think that I saw enough from Michael Hawkins this year, even with the turnovers, that I would guess whoever the new OC is would say, not that he would promise him the job, but would really try hard to keep him on campus.
Yeah, and there was a really good point made by one of the texters that said this staff won't be making the same mistakes by not having an open competition. Because that was a mistake the first time around, giving Jackson Arnold the job and essentially closing the competition long before it made any sense to do so. In hindsight, with the benefit of hindsight, that was a misstep by this staff. And I don't think that they're going to repeat that mistake. I do think they'll probably head into the offseason with the expectation that those 2 guys are going to have an open competition. But again, if you're in Jackson Arnold's shoes, do you want to be part of an open competition? Or do you want to just be able to count on your last 2 years of eligibility at the collegiate level being spent at a place where you are the unquestioned starter? That's a lot to think about. I won't pretend that I know exactly where Jackson Arnold's head is at with all of that, but he's going to have a decision to make.
Well, is there a world, by the way, like with 3 games left, hopefully 4, is there a scenario out there where Jackson Arnold plays so well? Like, what has to happen for him to be the unquestioned starter heading into 25? Is that even on the table at this point?
I mean, beat Alabama and LSU, I guess. I mean, that's the only world where I think you can guarantee him and the team that he is the guy going into 2025 is if he elevates his own performance and elevates the team to the point where you not only beat Alabama, but you beat LSU as well and close the regular season with 2 enormous upsets in a row. There was a 918 listener that said, what kind of reception you think Caden Green gets from the team this weekend? Look, if you pay attention to social media, the current OU players, and of course Green's former teammates here at OU, they still show him love. He still shows them love. I think most everybody in the building at OU understands that what happened to Caden Green, what happened with Caden Green, did not boil down to Caden Green's choice in the matter.
Oh, yeah.
It was not a machination of Caden Green's free will. So I would figure there will be a pretty cordial reception for Caden Green amongst the OU roster when they go up to Columbia.
Kind of worried I'm going to get stabbed on Saturday, especially sitting in the stands. Oh, no. I think there's a chance that could happen to me before, during, or after the football game. So pray for me, Parker. Pray for me this weekend as I go up there this weekend. Okay. One-star Eric, the Mets fan, says there also has to be a scenario where the new OC brings in his own quarterback.
Yep.
Sure.
Again, the example I have used in that regard, what if you hire Joe Craddock from Tulane? And he wants to bring in Darian Mensah. Well, shoot, it's a competition at that point, whether you like it or not.
He's a good player, too, man. Really, really good player. All right, keep the text coming, 405-651-3439. I am at Cavins Group today. Go follow them on Facebook, Cavins Group, Cavins. And, of course, if you've got a repair that needs to be looked at, attended to, they're on the call 24/7, 365. Give Gary and the team a call, 405-573-3048, 405-573-3048. The Rush is coming up next. Keep it locked on the Rec.